Welcome back to another episode of Hot Flash, your hot air weekly minisode, the unapologetically queer podcast where we talk about all the things your therapist wants you to unpack, but with a little more sass and a lot more fucking cussing. Sometimes I'm like, should I swear? Yes, I should. So today we're going to dive deep into the world of attachment styles, what they are, how they show up in our queer little lives, and especially how they play out in gay male relationships. However, I just hit the microphone. I always do that. My hands be flying around the room. However, just because I'm specifically talking about attachment styles and referring to myself, because I am a gay male, so that is the perspective we are providing here, attachment styles go for everyone. So it doesn't matter where you are on the sexuality spectrum or gender spectrum, attachment styles, we all need to know them. They're very helpful. So listen up. If you've ever dated a man or a woman or anyone in between, again, who clung to you like a koala or ghosted you after a dreamy ass date, well, congratulations, you have met their attachment style. But what does that exactly mean? Why do we act the way that we do in relationships? And how do these styles interact with each other for better and for worse? And that's what we're breaking down today. So go ahead and get a cute little blankie, maybe put your PJs on and your journal, just in case we come across those, oh, fuck, that's me moments. You got to jot that down. Let's learn about our attachment styles. Let's hit it. Part 1. What are attachment styles? What a wild place to start, right? And this isn't just therapy jargon, it's rooted in science. Attachment theory was first developed by John Bowlby and expanded by Mary Ainsworth in the mid 20th century. They found that the way our caregivers responded to us as infants creates a blueprint for how we connect with others later in life. I mean, we learn everything by being taught it by our parents or our caregivers. And there are 4 main attachment styles. And this is where you start putting your thinking cap on and listen closely. We have secure attachment, the golden retrievers of attachment. They're comfortable with intimacy, comfortable with independence, and generally healthy communicators. Isn't that a cute goal to have? Secure AF. And then there's anxious attachment, which is preoccupied, always worried about their partner, worried that their partner will leave them. They need a lot of reassurance, often feeling insecure in relationships. And I will be straight motherfucking up with you. That is me. I am anxious in all the ways. Then we have avoidant attachment, which is dismissive. They value independence above all else, and they struggle with vulnerability and often distance themselves emotionally. Lastly, we have fearful-avoidant, which is disorganized. The hot mess express. They want closeness, but they're terrified of getting hurt, leading to this push and pull back and forth pattern, which I think we all have experienced at one point or another within ourselves or within someone we are dating. And most people fall into one of these categories with varying degrees depending on life experiences, trauma, therapy, and yes, that fucking hellscape that is dating apps. Part 2, how attachment styles present in gay men. Again, I'm speaking for myself. These are important things for me to learn if I want to date healthy. So these are things that I have been researching and that I find have been very helpful now that I've been back on the dating scene. So let's get queer with this, because research shows that while attachment styles are universal, how they show up can be shaped by our cultural context and lived experience. And for gay men, it's a very unique experience. So, studies have found that gay men report higher levels of anxious attachment compared to heterosexual men. This can be linked to societal rejection, internalized homophobia, or early life experiences where they felt othered or invalidated. And as a gay man, I can vouch for that. Many gay men with avoidant attachment use hyper independence, hello, that's me, as a shield against vulnerability, often rooted in past rejection or trauma from coming out experiences. Then fearful avoidant gay men might crave intimacy desperately, but they sabotage it due to the fear of rejection, amplifying that push and pull dynamic. This is very common among those who have faced bullying, religious rejection, or family estrangement. Here's a little example if you don't get the point yet. Have you ever dated a guy or a girl who texts you 14 times a day asking if you're mad at them or what's wrong? Then they suddenly ghost you for a week when you start to reciprocate. Yes, that is anxious, fearful, avoidance, chaos right there. Mouthful. These are a lot of mouthfuls. Also, in the gay community, hookup culture and app based dating can exacerbate avoidant traits, reinforcing emotional distance. And meanwhile, anxious folks might cling harder, leading to cycles of heartbreak. Again, anxious attachment, heartbreak central. Been there, done that. And let's not forget the men who come out later in life. They often display an anxious or fearful avoidance style because they haven't yet had the relational experience to develop secure attachment in a queer context. So, bottom line, our queerness doesn't cause an insecure attachment, but the trauma and cultural experiences that we navigate through help to shape it. Part 3, the positive and negative combinations. Okay, now this is the juicy bit. This is what I love, is figuring out how you can navigate with a partner if they're the opposite attachment style of you and what's actually going to work. So how these styles interact in relationships is, I find, so fucking cool and also very helpful. So we have a secure person and a secure person. They are the dream team. Healthy communication, trust, intimacy, and independence. Conflicts get resolved without gigantic explosions. It's basically like watching a Netflix rom-com, but it is real. That is the goal. We all need to be secure. Then you have a secure and anxious person. Secure partners can provide the reassurance that an anxious partner needs. They create a stable and safe dynamic, and over time, anxious partners can become more secure with this foundation. Secure peeps, slide in my DMs. Please, dear God, come help me. Then we have a secure person and an avoidant person. This can work if the secure partner respects the avoidance need for space without taking it personally, and that can be quite challenging. But it can feel unbalanced if the avoidant remains emotionally unavailable long term. Now we're getting into the dark stuff. We have an anxious person and an avoidant person, which are like magnets and attract to each other, but they don't work well. So welcome to hell. This is the most common toxic pairing. The anxious person craves closeness, the avoidant withdraws, triggers the anxious person to chase harder, which makes the avoidant run faster. It is an endless cycle of frustration, tears, and why didn't he text me back? Gosh, knowing this is going to change some shit. Then we have an anxious person and an anxious person, which can create an intense bond very fast, but the relationship may become codependent, which is driven by fear of abandonment rather than healthy love. Next, an avoidant person and an avoidant person. These are two people valuing independence so much that the relationship might never deepen. It can work if both are happy keeping it very light, but usually that lacks intimacy. And then we have fearful avoidant and a fearful avoidant. Two fearful avoidants together often create chaos. There's fear, mistrust, push-pull dynamics, and emotional explosions. Fearful avoidance paired with either anxious or avoidant partners also tend to experience instability unless serious therapy is involved. And now here's a little tip. This is the best case scenario. A secure person with anyone tends to balance out the insecure style if both partners are self-aware and willing to communicate openly. Studies have shown that queer men with secure attachment styles tend to have higher relationship satisfaction, lower anxiety, and greater overall well-being. And I'm pretty sure that goes for anyone from any walk of life. Being secure and with a secure person is the goal. Part 4, how to heal or change your attachment style, which is something that I have been working on. Once you become aware of it, you can start to acknowledge those triggers and those traits that are preventing you from having a healthy relationships. And I get so excited about this. I actually have full body chills right now. So here is the empowering part. Attachment styles are not life sentences. They're patterns that we learned, and anything learned can be unlearned or rewired, because I did an episode on it and I know everything. So you can listen to that episode about changing your habits. This is basically the exact same thing. So here's some ways to move towards secure attachment. This will not come as a surprise, but therapy, especially trauma-informed or attachment-focused therapy. Understanding your patterns is the first step to changing them. And this self-awareness, which is the next point, falls right in line with that. Journal your triggers. Journal your reactions. Pay attention to your fears. Ask yourself, am I reacting to reality or my fear of abandonment or rejection? I do this all the time. When somebody doesn't text me back, I get anxiety. I freak out and I go, wait a second. I am just reacting to my past experiences with rejection. Take a pause, take a breath. You don't need to reach out to that person. More than likely, they will text you. And if they don't, they're not the one for you. And then we can also choose partners who are emotionally safe. I know, easier said than done, but patterns change when we are in relationships that don't reinforce them. Again, your negative patterns will change when you're with someone who does not reinforce those negative patterns. And communicate your needs. Instead of spiraling when your partner doesn't text back in 10 minutes, express what you need calmly. Like, hey, I really like you and I feel secure when we check in daily. Some people are not big texters. Some people don't want to check in daily. But if somebody cares about you and they know that you like that and that helps you feel calm, they'll step up and they'll do it. Next, you can regulate your nervous system with meditation, breath work, movement, go to yoga, go for a walk. Attachment wounds live in the body. So healing requires more than just cognitive understanding of how these attachment styles work. Because at the end of the day, love is not about finding someone who completes you. It's about being so rooted in your own worth that love feels like an addition to your life, not the Band-Aid that is holding you together and holding on to those broken pieces. You can also go back to my episode about bad dating advice, which is one of my most popular episodes. And I think I'm just really passionate about dating because I'm trying to do it right. But a lot of people have reached out and been like, yo, that it was so helpful. So that's a really good thing to kind of add on to this attachment style thing. And if today's episode made you feel like you were called out or you were seen or maybe slightly attacked, well, welcome to the club, because I am right here with you. But the good news is that understanding these patterns is the first step towards healthier, more fulfilling connections. And if you want to dive deeper, you can check out the book Attached by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller, or Polysecure by Jessica Fern. If you're non-monogamous, I can't even say that word. If you're non-monogamous, the Polysecure book is for you. And of course, do not forget to rate, review, subscribe to Hot Air wherever you are listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, same thing goes. Leave a comment, leave a like, and of course, share this episode with your anxious, avoidant, or fearful avoidant friends, because we all need it and we all need help. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at _HotAirPod. You can also head over to my website, hotairwithjoshuarobert.com, if you want to submit your story with these attachment styles. Maybe how you have worked through it, how your partner has complimented you, or even lessons that you've learned from partners that do not work with your attachment style. And also, a little secret, next Tuesday is my birthday, okay? Don't tell anyone, except tell everyone, because next Tuesday's episode is going to be very special. And it would be the best birthday gift if you all sent this to your ex-boyfriends. That's my dream. Okay, in all seriousness, until next time, remember, you are worthy of love that feels safe, secure, and spicy. So until next time, I'll see you next Tuesday.